The story begins at a prison in Malaysia. Thousands of dangerous criminals are locked inside this place. It is known as one of the most secure prisons in the world, and no prisoner has ever managed to escape from it. Guards keep watching the prisoners all the time, and if anyone tries to escape, they are immediately shot. There is another big reason why escaping from this prison is almost impossible. The prison is built in the middle of the sea. Even if someone somehow gets outside, the ocean blocks the way. The water is also full of dangerous sharks that can tear a person apart within seconds. Because of this, none of the prisoners even think about escaping. Meanwhile, in the city, we meet a man named Arthur. Arthur is not an ordinary man. He is a contract killer who gets paid to kill people, and right now he is planning another assassination. First, Arthur picks up a photo of a prisoner who has escaped from jail. That prisoner has a Ludo-style tattoo on his face. Arthur creates the same fake tattoo on his own face and changes his appearance to look like that escaped prisoner. After that, he walks into the middle of the city. When the police notice the tattoo on his face, they believe he is the escaped prisoner and quickly arrest him. The police then take Arthur to Malaysia's most secure prison. This is the same prison located in the middle of the sea. At this point, we learn that Arthur has entered the prison for a special mission. He has come here to kill a very dangerous gangster named Yakuza. Yakuza has killed many innocent people. An old prisoner sitting nearby tells Arthur that anyone who becomes Yakuza's enemy suffers a terrible death. Yakuza first kills his enemy, then removes the person's heart and eats it. After seeing Yakuza, Arthur understands that killing him will not be easy because Yakuza's men stay around him all the time. Arthur starts looking for a way to get close to him. Just then, he notices a huge prisoner walking toward Yakuza with the intention of killing him. Arthur immediately sees an opportunity. Just as the large prisoner is about to attack Yakuza, Arthur throws a knife and kills the attacker. By doing this, he saves Yakuza's life. Yakuza becomes very happy and starts trusting Arthur. He thanks Arthur for saving him and invites him to have lunch with him. Later that afternoon, Arthur goes to Yakuza's private area inside the prison. Yakuza is happy to see him and even offers Arthur a job as his right-hand man. Arthur then tells him that he already has a job, and his job is to kill people like Yakuza. As soon as he says this, Arthur attacks him. He grabs Yakuza by the neck and kills him. After killing him, Arthur quickly mixes poisonous powder into Yakuza's food. He does this so everyone will think Yakuza died after eating poisoned food, instead of realizing that Arthur killed him. Arthur then places Yakuza's dead body in a position that makes it look like he is praying. Because of this, Yakuza's guards standing outside do not suspect anything. They simply think their boss is busy praying. Arthur uses this chance to quietly leave the room. He then reaches a small tunnel near the prison wall and places a bomb there. A powerful explosion destroys part of the wall and creates an opening. Arthur quickly escapes through the hole. Before entering the sea, he covers his body with a special cream to protect himself from the sharks. At the same time, the prison guards realize that Arthur is trying to escape. They rush toward him, but before they can catch him, Arthur jumps into the water. He swims through the sea filled with dangerous sharks and successfully gets away. In the end, Arthur kills one of the most dangerous gangsters without leaving any clear evidence behind, and he also manages to escape from one of the most secure prisons in the world. After escaping from the prison, Arthur goes straight to Brazil. There, he starts living under a new identity on a boat near the sea. He spends the night inside the boat, and the next morning he gets ready to leave. Before going away, he uses his phone to activate a bomb installed inside the boat. He does this so no one can steal it while he is gone. After that, Arthur goes to a hotel and sits at a table near the sea. Just then, a beautiful woman comes over and sits in front of him. She tells Arthur that she has been searching for him for many months, and that she knows exactly who he is. She says that he is a contract killer who murders people and then makes their deaths look like accidents. After this, the woman comes to the main point. She tells Arthur that the man she works for wants him to kill 2 people. According to her, no one else can do this job better than Arthur. But Arthur refuses to accept the contract. Hearing this makes the woman angry. She takes out her phone and shows Arthur a video clip. She tells him that she knows he did not really die in the past. Instead, he faked his own death and secretly survived. She also tells him that his enemies are still looking for him. The woman then threatens Arthur and says that if he refuses to work for her boss, she will upload the video on the internet. Once that happens, his enemies will find out that he is still alive, and his life will be in danger again. In the eyes of the world, Arthur is already dead. But in reality, he is living in Brazil with a new name and a new identity. Arthur then looks around the area and notices something important. The woman has not come alone. She has brought several armed men with her. Arthur immediately understands that his life is in danger. He quickly takes out his phone and takes a picture of the woman. When she sees this, she realizes that Arthur is not going to accept her offer, so she starts pulling out her gun to kill him. Before she can shoot, Arthur grabs the table in front of him and attacks her with it. The men standing nearby immediately rush toward Arthur, but Arthur fights back and takes them down one by one. Then Arthur looks at a CCTV screen and notices that even more men are coming to kill him. Knowing that he cannot stay there much longer, Arthur quickly escapes and jumps onto the roof of a sky train. The attackers also enter the train and start searching for him, but Arthur is actually hiding on top of the train. Soon, the woman realizes where he is and starts firing bullets through the roof. Arthur quickly moves away and then jumps onto a paraglider. Using it, he escapes from the area and gets far away from them. Later that evening, Arthur returns near his boat. From a distance, he sees two men searching and checking it. Arthur knows that they are after him, so he uses his phone to detonate the bomb inside the boat. The boat explodes and catches fire, killing both men. At this point, Arthur understands that people in Brazil now know the truth about him. He realizes that staying there is no longer safe, so he goes straight to a port. There, he enters a shipping container and takes out a bag that he had hidden there earlier. Inside the bag are a large amount of money, several weapons, and fake passports. Arthur then burns his Brazilian passport, so there will be no evidence connecting him to his identity in Brazil. After removing every possible clue, he leaves Brazil and travels to Thailand. He eventually reaches a quiet and isolated beach. There, he meets the owner of a hotel named Malaika. Malaika recognizes Arthur as soon as she sees him. Without asking many questions, she gives him the key to his room. After entering his room, Arthur takes out a bag hidden under the table. Inside the bag are all the things he may need. The first thing he does is open his laptop and search for information about the woman whose picture he took at the hotel. During his research, Arthur discovers that she is also a contract killer. He also learns that she works for a man named Crane. As soon as Arthur sees Crane's picture, he becomes worried because he has known Crane since childhood. Arthur also knows that Crane is a very dangerous mafia boss. The next day, a young woman named Gina comes to Malaika and asks her for some medicine. Malaika notices injury marks on Gina's arm and immediately understands that she may be in trouble. So Malaika tells her that if she needs any other kind of help, she can ask her. But Gina does not explain anything. She simply takes the medicine and goes back to a boat standing nearby. Later that night, Gina suddenly starts screaming loudly from her boat. Malaika looks toward the boat and sees a man beating her. After seeing this, Malaika quickly goes to Arthur and asks him to help the girl trapped on the boat. Arthur takes a small boat and goes straight toward them. When he reaches there, he tells the man to leave Gina alone or he will die. But the man refuses to listen and starts fighting Arthur instead. During the fight, the man's head hits a metal rod very hard and he dies on the spot. A short time later, Malaika also reaches the boat. Arthur picks Gina up and hands her over to Malaika. He tells Malaika to take Gina back to the shore while he stays behind to search the boat. While checking the place, Arthur finds Gina's passport and her mobile phone. When he looks through her phone, he finds a picture of himself inside it. Arthur immediately becomes suspicious and starts wondering why Gina has his photo. He then goes directly to Gina's room and points a gun at her. Arthur asks her how she got his picture. Gina does not answer him at first. Instead, she moves closer and tries to charm him. But Arthur pushes her back onto the bed and tells her that these tricks will not work on him. He then asks her one last time if she also works for Crane. Hearing this, Gina becomes scared and finally tells him the truth. She admits that Crane sent her to Arthur, but she says she does not actually work for Crane. Instead, Crane forced her to do all of this. Gina explains that the entire situation on the boat was part of Crane's plan. The man was supposed to beat her so Arthur would come to save her. After that, Gina was supposed to act like a helpless woman in front of Arthur and slowly make him fall in love with her. Once Arthur became attached to Gina, Crane planned to use her to force Arthur into doing his jobs. After learning the truth, Arthur tells Gina that from now on, he will decide what happens next. Arthur now plans to turn Crane's own game against him and trap Crane using the same plan he created. However, Arthur still does not completely trust everything Gina has told him. So the next day, he starts researching her background. During his search, he discovers that Gina is actually a very kind-hearted woman. She runs an orphanage where she teaches orphan children how to read and write. She also provides them with food and a place to live. After seeing all of this, Arthur starts to feel differently about Gina. He becomes impressed by who she really is. He then goes to sit beside her and asks her what Crane is using against her to force her into doing all of this. Gina then tells Arthur that she runs an orphanage. But 1 month ago, Crane's men kidnapped one of the children from there. The very next day, the child's dead body was found outside the orphanage. After that, Crane's men threatened Gina. They told her that if she refused to follow Crane's orders, they would kill her and all the other children living in the orphanage. Gina had no choice, so she agreed to do what Crane wanted in order to protect the children. While they are talking, Arthur notices a boat in the middle of the sea. Some men on that boat are watching them. Arthur quickly realizes that they are Crane's men, so he holds Gina's hand and starts walking with her. He wants the men on the boat to believe that Gina has successfully trapped him with her love. At the same time, Malika sees the two of them together and invites them to join a local ceremony happening nearby. Arthur and Gina spend some time there and enjoy themselves. During this moment, it becomes clear that they are actually starting to like each other for real. Later that night, Gina comes to Arthur and apologizes. She tells him that she feels bad for dragging him into all of this trouble. Arthur tells her that he understands why she did it. Saving the lives of those orphan children is very important to her, and Arthur says he understands that feeling because he was also an orphan as a child. Arthur then tells Gina the full truth about himself and Crane. He explains that he and Crane grew up in the same orphanage and were very close friends. But one day, both of them were sold to a gangster. That gangster trained children and forced them to do illegal jobs for him. Arthur hated that life. So when he finally got a chance, he escaped from the gangster. But Crane was unable to escape with him and was caught while trying to run away. The gangster blamed Crane for Arthur's escape and beat him very badly. From that day on, Crane started hating Arthur and eventually became his enemy. After telling Gina everything, Arthur says that she does not need to worry because he will get her out of this problem soon. The two then kiss each other. The next morning, Arthur sees a group of Thai police officers coming toward them in a boat. But as they get closer, Arthur quickly realizes that they are not real police officers. They are actually Crane's men. Arthur immediately starts fighting them, but it is already too late. The men capture Gina and take her away on the boat. They also manage to capture Arthur and take him directly to Crane. When Arthur meets Crane, he tells him to release Gina. Crane immediately understands that Arthur has developed real feelings for her. So Crane tells him that he will let Gina go, but only if Arthur kills 2 men for him. Crane also gives him one important condition. Arthur must kill both targets in such a way that no one realizes they were murdered. Their deaths must look like accidents. Crane tells Arthur that he knows only Arthur has the skill to do this. He also warns him that if he refuses, Crane will kill Arthur, Gina, and all the children in her orphanage. With no other option left, Arthur agrees to do the job. But before starting the mission, he tells Crane that he wants to speak to Gina on a video call first. He wants to make sure that she is still alive and safe. Crane agrees and allows Arthur to talk to Gina through a video call. After Arthur confirms that Gina is alive, Crane gives him the photo of his first target. The man's name is Cook. Cook is a very powerful businessman with a huge amount of money. However, most of his wealth comes from illegal activities. One of his worst crimes is selling underage girls. After this, Arthur starts collecting information about Cook. He discovers that Cook has many enemies. Because of this, Cook keeps a large number of security guards around him at all times. Arthur quickly understands that killing him face to face would be extremely difficult, so he starts looking for another way. During his research, Arthur learns that Cook lives in Australia. He owns a beautiful penthouse there. On the roof of the building, there is a large glass swimming pool that extends outside the building over the road below. Cook often swims in this pool. As soon as Arthur learns this, he decides to use the swimming pool to kill him. First, Arthur visits the building while pretending to be a businessman. He meets the building manager and tells her that he wants to buy an apartment there. The manager starts showing him the building and explaining its facilities. During this time, Arthur secretly takes a picture of an apartment key so he can make a fake copy of it. After that, he prepares a special chemical that can weaken glass and make it break. The next day, Arthur enters the building disguised as a cleaner. He avoids the security guards and uses the fake key to enter an empty apartment below Cook's penthouse. Once inside, Arthur cuts through the outside glass of the building and creates a way to climb upward. He then uses a rope to climb along the outside of the building until he reaches the swimming pool above. There, Arthur secretly drills several small holes into the glass floor of the pool. He then puts the glass-breaking chemical into those holes. After finishing everything, Arthur quickly leaves the area. A short time later, Cook comes to the pool for a swim and jumps into the water. When he reaches the area where Arthur placed the chemical, the pressure on the weakened glass becomes too much. Cracks begin to spread across it. Within seconds, a large section of the glass floor breaks apart. Cook falls hundreds of feet from the building and dies. Soon, the news reports that the businessman named Cook has died after falling from the building. When Crane sees the news on television, he becomes very happy because Arthur has completed the mission exactly as he wanted. As a reward, Crane allows Arthur to speak with Gina through a video call. During the call, Gina cleverly moves the camera and shows Arthur the number written on the boat behind her. She does this so Arthur can search for the boat and find out where she is being held. Arthur notices the number and remembers it. After the call ends, he enters the boat number into his laptop and tracks its location. Now he knows exactly where Gina is. Arthur then rents a helicopter and flies toward that location. To make sure Crane's men do not see the helicopter, Arthur keeps it some distance away from the boat. He then jumps from the helicopter into the water and swims toward the boat. But as soon as he reaches it, Crane's men notice him. Arthur immediately fights back and shoots several guards one by one. He continues moving through the boat until he finally sees Gina ahead of him. However, Crane's men already expected Arthur to come and rescue her. Because of this, they manage to capture him before he can reach Gina. They take Arthur directly to Crane. Crane is furious and tells Arthur that he is forgiving him for this mistake only once. He warns him that if he tries something like this again, he will lose Gina forever. Crane then gives Arthur only 24 hours to kill his next target. With no other choice, Arthur leaves and begins working on his second mission. This time, Arthur's target is a weapons dealer named Max. Arthur starts collecting information about him and learns that Max has built his house on top of a mountain. The place has extremely heavy security, and the guards are equipped with very advanced weapons. After seeing all of this, Arthur understands that killing Max will be very difficult. During his research, Arthur also figures out Crane's real plan. Crane used Arthur to remove Cook from his path, and now he wants Max dead as well. Once Max is gone, Crane will be able to take control of his position and become the only major owner of this entire illegal business. The next morning, Arthur leaves to complete the mission. When he reaches near Max's house, he sees that the security is so tight that there is no normal way to get inside. So Arthur comes up with a smart plan. Using a sniper rifle, he shoots and injures one of the guards standing on the roof of Max's house. Because the guard is badly injured, a doctor is called in by helicopter to treat him. At the same time, we see that Arthur has also managed to reach the roof. In fact, while the helicopter was bringing the doctor, Arthur secretly held onto the bottom of it and used it to reach the building. While the doctor and the other guards are busy treating the injured man, Arthur uses the opportunity to enter Max's house. The first thing he does is place a jammer that shuts down all the security cameras. As soon as the cameras stop working, the guards inside the building become alert and start searching for him. Arthur moves through the building and takes down several guards one by one. Meanwhile, Max's security team tries to keep him protected. Just then, a huge explosion happens near the elevator outside the building. The guards believe that whoever is trying to kill Max must be outside. Because of this, they quickly take Max to the safest room in the entire building. But when Max closes the door and turns around, he sees Arthur already sitting inside. Max realizes that Arthur has cleverly fooled his own guards. Without knowing it, they have brought Max directly to the man they were trying to protect him from. Max then asks Arthur what he is waiting for and tells him to shoot him. But Arthur tells him not to worry because he is not going to kill him. Instead, Arthur wants Max to pretend that he is dead. Max does not understand what he means, so Arthur explains everything. He tells Max that Crane sent him to kill him. However, Arthur has already understood Crane's real plan. Crane first used Arthur to kill Cook, and now he wants Arthur to kill Max as well. Once both men are gone, Crane plans to take full control of the entire business. Arthur then explains his own plan. He tells Max that he needs to fake his death. Once Crane hears the news, he will send his men to confirm Max's dead body. Arthur plans to use that moment to go after Crane and kill him. Max agrees to the plan. Arthur then creates an explosion at Max's place and makes it look like Max has been killed. Fake news quickly starts spreading that Max is dead. But in reality, Arthur secretly gets Max out alive and takes him to a safe place near the sea. Soon, the news of Max's death spreads across the city like wildfire. Crane also hears about it and becomes very happy. Arthur has now removed every major obstacle standing in the way of Crane's business. However, Crane is still not completely convinced that Max is really dead. A short time later, Arthur calls Crane and tells him that the job is finished. He says that Crane must now keep his promise and release Gina. But Crane still has doubts about Max's death, so he tells Arthur that before releasing Gina, he wants to see Max's dead body himself. Arthur then tells Crane that if he still does not believe him, he can send his men to Max's place and check the body himself. Crane falls for the plan and sends most of his guards to Max's hideout. He keeps only a few men with him on the boat. At the same time, Crane also tells his guards that his path is now clear, so they should kill Arthur as well. But Arthur has already prepared a trap for them. As soon as Crane's guards reach Max's place, Arthur and Max's men attack them. In the fight, all of Crane's men are killed. Arthur now knows that Crane is almost alone on his boat with only a few guards left. This makes him much easier to reach, so Arthur enters the water and starts moving toward Crane's boat. Crane also realizes what Arthur is planning. Because of this, he keeps Gina with him and decides to use her as bait. A short time later, Arthur reaches the boat and immediately kills one of Crane's men. He then moves forward and takes down the remaining guards one by one. Crane orders one of his men to bring Gina back inside the boat. While the guard is taking her in, Gina suddenly attacks him. During the struggle, Gina is shot and badly injured. Crane quickly comes over, grabs Gina, and takes her into the cabin. He then activates the bombs planted inside the boat. Crane knows that the boat will explode very soon, so he leaves Gina inside and starts preparing a small boat to escape. Meanwhile, Arthur finally reaches Gina. They hug each other, and Gina quickly tells him that Crane has activated the bombs. She warns him that the entire boat is about to explode. Arthur immediately takes Gina to an emergency escape pod and puts her inside. Gina asks Arthur to come with her, but Arthur refuses. He tells her that as long as Crane Crane is alive, they will never be safe. Arthur then launches the emergency pod and sends Gina away from the boat. After that, he goes back to face Crane. The two start shooting at each other. When both of them run out of bullets, they begin fighting with their hands. Arthur soon gets the upper hand and manages to chain Crane to the boat. Crane starts laughing and tells Arthur that the boat is going to explode soon, so Arthur will die with him. Arthur calmly tells him that he always finds a way to survive. After saying this, Arthur runs toward the cabin. At that exact moment, the boat explodes with a massive blast and is completely destroyed. From a distance, Gina watches the burning wreckage. She becomes heartbroken because she believes Arthur has died in the explosion. She starts crying as the boat disappears in flames. In the next scene, Gina has returned to her orphanage. She begins taking care of the children again, but she is still deeply sad about Arthur's death and keeps thinking about him. One day, while Gina is with the children, Arthur suddenly appears in front of her. At first, Gina cannot believe her eyes and thinks she is only imagining him. But after a moment, she realizes that Arthur is really alive. Seeing him alive makes her extremely happy. In reality, Arthur never died in the explosion. At the end of the movie, we see Max investigating the destroyed boat. During his research, he learns that every boat like this has a very strong metal chamber inside. This chamber is built to survive both bullets and explosions. When Max checks the security footage, he sees that just before the boat exploded, Arthur entered that protected chamber. This is how he survived the blast. Max smiles after discovering the truth. He then deletes the video so the rest of the world will continue to believe that Arthur is dead. And with that, the story comes to an end. If you enjoyed this movie recap, then like the video and don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments and subscribe to our channel to see more such amazing movie recaps. Thanks for watching.